I told you that your best salesperson and your worst salesperson can now access the exact same AI tools, the same ChatGPT, the same prospect research, the same email generators, the same proposal builders, the same presentation tools, yet one will dramatically increase revenue, the other will simply create bad sales emails faster. Why? Well, because technology doesn't replace skill, it amplifies it. And nowhere is this more evident than in media sales today. Today, publishers everywhere are trying to figure out how AI fits into their revenue strategy. Can it help sales teams sell more? Can it shorten the sales cycle? Can it help smaller media companies compete with larger organizations? Or is it simply creating more noise in an already very crowded marketplace? Hi, I'm Mike Blinder, publisher of E&P Magazine. This, of course, is E&P Reports, a weekly podcast series that explores the people, ideas, and issues shaping the future of news publishing. To help answer those questions, I invited back one of the most popular guests we ever have on any of our shows. He is award-winning, Emmy award-winning sales trainer, author of Selling Backwards, one of my favorite books. It's on my shelf in book form, no less. Owner and CEO of Niche Media, one of the most respected voices in media revenue development. But more importantly, with all those accolades, Ryan Dohrn, you have one more accolade. Are you ready?
Yes.
You're now a member on this episode of the E&P Five Timers Club. Now,
Nice.
we can't afford the jacket I'm showing you. And if I had you on my sales team, I'm sure I could get a sponsor for this thing.
That's right.
But I want to tell you that in perpetuity, this is the jacket I would be sending you. This is your fifth appearance on the show. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. I always enjoy our conversations. And for those that don't know, we go back a lot longer than either one of us wants to admit. And always have a great time visiting together. And one of the cool things is we've really seen, Mike, this business change over the course of time because we've known each other so long. And I wonder if our mutual friend, Michael Romaner, that introduced us back in 2000 or 1999, I wonder if he looks at conversations like this and either says one of two things. Hey, those two guys are getting old. Or B, I was right, because he predicted a lot of this. As the digital pioneer at Morris Communications back in the day, I'm sure you remember.
One of my first clients was Morris Newspapers out of Augusta, Georgia. I used to stay in the hotel. Yeah, I used to love coming to that little town that once a year everybody just rents their houses out for millions or whatever. Yeah. Well, anyway, rather than reminiscing, Ryan, when we come back, I want to know whether AI is actually creating better salespeople or just making bad salespeople more efficient. We'll also discuss the biggest mistakes publishers are making with AI right now, what every sales manager should be teaching their teams immediately, and a lot more. Please stay with us. Ryan and I will be right back.
Hello, my name is Walter Hussman. Our family has been in the news business for over 100 years. Journalism includes two parts, reporting the news and providing opinions. But in recent years, there's been too much opinion appearing in news reporting. This has eroded public trust in news reporting to the lowest level of any U.S. institution. To address this, we started a nonprofit, the Center for Integrity in News Reporting.
The Center for Integrity in News Reporting, CFINR, is on a mission to rebuild public trust in journalism, one newsroom and one classroom at a time. We champion the effort to have news organizations and journalism schools create and prominently display their own clear, concise statements of core journalistic values. Learn more by visiting the Center for Integrity in News Reporting site at cfinr.org.
All right, Ryan, it's obvious. Everybody's talking about AI. What are salespeople actually using it for today versus what people think they're using it for?
They're using it as a search engine. That's what most people are doing wrong, is they've tried to replace Google search with ChatGPT. And it is a tremendous waste of time because you're not utilizing the tools really for what they're designed for, to learn and live and sort of not breathe, but learn and live your life as a salesperson to help you be better and better and better. The cool thing is that you can actually then leverage information that I've put online, people like you, E&P, et cetera, have put online, to make themselves even better. But I would say, Mike, honestly, a lot of salespeople are wasting time doing the wrong things. And that's what we really need to talk about. What can we do to be more efficient and make our sales lives better, not just run down some rabbit holes?
All right, so let's go through the sales process. Let's talk about before the sales call itself. I remember back in my radio days, remember, I was selling AM radio in the early 80s. And there was a guy named Chris Lytle that used to sell these big, huge books to radio stations. Used to say, if you go in with the right questions, you're perceived smarter. And you'd leaf to the page on jewelry stores,
Right,
or
right.
you'd leaf to the page on auto dealers. Did you know, sir, 33% of your sales, all that and more. Before a sales call, give us some real examples of what you could use something like ChatGPT to do.
Sure, Mike, we're living in a world of economic uncertainty. No matter how you feel about the White House or whatever over the last 6, 8, 10 years, it's economic uncertainty. And so when people are economically uncertain, they are very adverse to risk. So one of the things that I use and teach my teams to do with ChatGPT is to find deep level research and high points of relevancy. Go deep to find the high points of relevancy that really makes people want to talk to you. Here's what I'm leveraging and kind of finding out is that most people don't want to have a big marketing conversation. That takes a long time. It takes a lot of thought. But if I can use ChatGPT or one of the other large language models to find out what your pain points are, Mike, because I don't have the wherewithal anymore to be doing all of these open-ended meetings with 1,000 questions. It takes up so much time and people don't want to have the meetings. So I can now use AI to drill in advance on a jewelry store or John Deere as a national client and find out what pain points are by what is being expressed in the news, what's currently being promoted. So unlike every other media seller that's saying things like this, Mike, love to get together and to talk about your marketing strategies. It's like, wah, wah, wah. Instead, I'd want to reach out and say, if you were a local business owner, hey, Mike, I saw on your website you're promoting this. I have a way to get that on the air, in the magazine, featured in the newspaper, put in an e-newsletter, and it allows me to be exceedingly relevant to people. This is my belief. I'd love to hear your opinion. When a salesperson is relevant to me, I tend to engage with them.
Exactly.
When a salesperson is generic to me, I'm kind of like, maybe for another day.
All right, so it still goes back to what I used to scream, do the homework, call prep, and all that more. Just be more efficient. All right, but are there other AI habits you would require a seller to have in today's world if you were running a sales team?
Yeah, especially from a habit perspective, it would be use AI for a purpose. Don't just use it to search and use it to polish up your emails. That's great. But use AI for a purpose. For example, building personality profiles on potential clients and current clients. It's one of my favorite things to do, whether you're using Copilot or Perplexity or ChatGPT or Gemini or Grok or whatever, is out there. Personality profiling. And this is how it kind of goes. I would say to the AI bot, I'm looking to build a personality profile on Mike Blinder. I am looking to connect better, connect in a more deep way. I just talk to it. So and I can get a personality profile that will scan the internet. So the bot will go out and scan the internet and it'll begin to make assumptions, Mike, about who you are. Maybe you are big on company loyalty. Maybe you're big on company culture. Maybe you've talked about it a lot online. I was recently researching someone that was really big into AI agents to replace their customer service people. This person had talked about it online. I was able to bring that back. I'm able to then see, is somebody highly logical? Are they highly emotional? And I can ask the bot to scrape the web and find that. Now, some people are like, wow, Ryan, that's really creepy. I like to say it like this. It's creepy cool. Yes, it's creepy to have access to this information, but it's super cool for me to be able to find out things so that I can better connect with a client. I can potentially sell them faster. And then I can cut through a lot of the clutter that is if you will, and I'm not a young kitten here, a young cat here. If you cut through kind of the old school of, I've got to build a relationship in order to sell somebody something. Now what most buyers are looking for is what I like to call quick connects. What can I do to build a quick connection, build quick trust to potentially get a meeting set? Because normally once I get a meeting, I can do okay. But I don't think a lot of salespeople are using AI to build personality profiles. They're doing things like find an email format, find out the name of the marketing director, And for the most part, Mike, that's pretty flat. You could always find most of that.
Sure.
AI is built so much more than just that. So that's one of the biggest habits. Personality profiling is one of the bigger things.
All right. What about someone who just uses it for everything, every proposal, every email? Are there any giveaways that people can see that this guy's not thinking, they're letting AI do the thinking for them?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the biggest ones is long extended hyphens. So one of the things, and I mean, that just screams hyphens. It just
They're
screams.
called M dashes. And whenever I see one, I know ChatGPT made that email. Yeah.
Exactly. So here's a tip for everybody that's listening and watching. Go into your whatever your tool is and just say write in AP style, because AP style is going to write in a lot more efficient way, and it's not going to include those. The other piece is tell it to stop. And when it keeps doing it, then, for lack of a better phrase, cuss it out. Say, hey, blankety blanket, stop doing that. Make it really know that you don't want it to look like AI. Here's the other thing you can do, though. Every large language model has some type of prompt. Like, for example, in ChatGPT, /human. That is a designator that you want it to sound more human. But here's the biggest thing, Mike. If you know somebody, okay, they can read it and go, Ryan didn't write that. So the most common thing that I say to ChatGPT or Claude or others is, hey, make it less professional. Make it more casual. Because I'm as you've known me for years, Mike, I'm a more casual talker than a 1, 2, and 2 is 4. I'm a lot more casual about it. So those are some of the really dead giveaways. The other is the length. ChatGPT wants to give you a thorough and thoughtful, response. If you send that across, people are going to know you didn't write that. No one's going to sit and take that much time to do it. So I always like to tell, the AI bots, keep it brief, keep it professional but casual. Eliminate all of those, long hyphens. And the other thing that I sometimes do, it sounds terrible. Sometimes I'll intentionally make a mistake, and it's like a who or a that. Sometimes I'll intentionally make the mistake so that people are like, okay, it was written by a human. I know that sounds a little silly to do that, but sometimes I do.
So you're addressing now the salespeople and the sales managers. Let's talk to the publishers who have hundreds and hundreds that view and download this show every month. How can publishers use AI to help create more revenue without sacrificing those critical relationships?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that when we are putting out our weekly newsletters and those type of things, updates, that AI can really help us with. Now, you do have to train it correctly to make sure that it's doing exactly what you want it to do. But there's so much AI right now in place. For example, and I'm making this example up, Mike, the weekly or daily EMP updates, emails that I receive from your company. And you may already do this. AI is such now that it's able to go to your website, pull the blogs that you want, go to the RSS feeds of the different companies that you like to reference, pull those feeds, bring back those newsletters, build them already. And you come in the morning and they're sitting there waiting for you to approve. So I no longer, through my CRM, have to build my monthly or weekly e-newsletters. It will go based on my directions and build all of those things. That's one thing. A second thing that I think is super important for the print business is most advertisers feel like we can't give them reporting on what we do in print, and we can. So the nice thing about a tool like Claude AI is its ability to automatically interface with Google AdWords, interface with the ad delivery systems, etc., to create really nice, beautiful reports that include print numbers and deliverability. So we can begin to create weekly and monthly reports about the exposure they're getting by participating with us. Those are two pretty big things that I don't think replace people, but just help us kind of enhance the job that we're doing.
Gordon was on this. Gordon Burrell, those who do not know him, one of the top leading research companies, Burrell Associates, that study the advertising space, not the audience space. But he was screaming on this show a few weeks ago that we're prospecting the wrong categories.
Sure.
The publishers, sometimes sometimes I always say, I talk to a publisher and I say he's being held hostage by the sales manager. In other words, the publisher has to manage a sales manager sometimes and push them, just like everybody. I need to be pushed. I mean, we all do, right? I mean, we all, get in our ways. So they have to push them into new boundaries. Can a publisher use AI to help them learn more about where there's better marketing opportunity, better revenue opportunities within their city, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. So being able to set up some either doing something dynamic with I find that Claude is a lot better when you're talking about doing dynamic things than ChatGPT, even though it can. But one of my favorite prompts I'd love for everybody to steal is, what am I missing? And most people don't actually use it. What am I missing is one of the strongest prompts that most people don't use when it comes to any AI tool that's out there. So putting in your competition, putting in things that your competition is doing, setting up a GPT or a skill for Claude or whatever to sit there and always be looking, and then ask it, what am I missing? What are the weak points? The old SWOT, right? What are my strategies? What are my weaknesses? What are my opportunities? What are my threats, right? And what am I missing? I think if every person that watches and listens to your show, Mike, if they just went and said, what am I missing? As it relates to my industry, what am I missing?
Perfect. I love it.
You'll be surprised. You can also do that for your marriage as well, everybody. What am I missing? And it'll give you some thoughtful advice as well.
It's funny, when I was back in my radio days, I used to do these war rooms, and where I'd bring in my team, and I would have them say, we're now the competitor trying to take us out. That it's almost the same thing. I mean, sometimes you don't see where you're missing an opportunity. That's brilliant. And something, I'm going to do that right after this show for my own. Thank you, Ryan. All right. So now that we've discussed all the ways to use AI, here's the billion-dollar question. Where does AI not have a place in today's news media revenue ecosystem?
It doesn't have enough knowledge to be doing original content creation without human oversight. I mean, I shouldn't say it doesn't have enough knowledge. It has enough knowledge, but it doesn't have enough analysis or wherewithal. It needs human interaction, needs to be in play. The other thing that AI can't do is AI is not going to figure out who it needs to call on in Flint, Michigan, when that reporter 10 years ago or 12 years ago found lead in the pipes in Flint, Michigan. Only an investigative reporter is going to be able to dig through that and really sniff it out. Can AI help that investigative reporter? Absolutely. Be the best it can be. Can AI help a salesperson be better than they are? Absolutely, especially from a writing perspective, because most salespeople are horrible at writing. I feel like AI has the ability to make us better if we allow it to make us better. When we're looking for ways to use AI to just replace people, I feel like we're looking at it from a wrong perspective, because without human intervention, I really feel like AI, honestly feels like the world is flat. Like it doesn't know exactly what's going to happen when we sail off onto the horizon. I mean, I think it does from analysis perspective, but without human involvement and human input, I just don't think that AI, is where we need to lean in the media business as to what can we do to, kind of take things over and throw humans to the wayside. Honestly, I don't see it happening, because I just think people buy from people, especially in the sales business.
I don't think that's ever changed. But let's discuss now the traits of good versus not as good salespeople. As the world evolves now, and as AI and all the other tech becomes more and more part of the ecosystem, what skills do you see over the months and years to come becoming less important? And what sales skills become even more valuable in the world as it's changing?
The ability to take information from AI and spin that into a relationship-based conversation with a client, that's something AI is not going to be able to replace. It can help us, but this thought process that we could have AI people walking into a local jeweler and selling them advertising is just not going to happen. Can it help us be more prepared? Absolutely. Now, here's the weak points where AI can help salespeople: writing, grammar, variety in templates, subject lines, testing, finding when is the best time to send an email to a client. I mean, all of those kind of things. I actually used Claude to interface with my Gmail account, Mike, to identify the best possible time to email a particular client. It took it so far as it analyzed, I could say, when's the best time to email Mike Blender? It would actually go, look at every time you responded to me, when you did, how long it was, and can tell me if I want a good answer from you, I should email you at 4:13 in the afternoon. I don't know why that is, Mike, what it is about 4:13. Maybe it takes you that long to get rocking in your day. I don't know what the circumstance is.
I get it.
But those are the kind of things where I believe a salesperson can use AI to really be better at their sales game.
One of the most respected voices in media revenue development today, Ryan Dohrn. His accolades are huge. Emmy award-winning sales trainer, author of Selling Backwards, the owner and CEO of Niche Media, but none of that compares to now being a member of the E&P Vodcast 5 Timers Club. I look forward to your 6th experience, Ryan. Thanks so much for being part of the show.
I do as well. Thanks so much, Mike. Appreciate you.